let's talk Nick Castellanos' comments today. And as I mentioned to our good friend Ryan, I think this might be the first time playing a little video, and this is a perfect opportunity to mention watching the pod on YouTube if that's your thing. You may be able to see the clip that we're about to play. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. But Nick Castellanos had some controversial comments. I don't know what the show was from today, but it started circulating today on the Chris Rose rotation, talking about Jose Iglesias. So let me see if this will play.
Jose Iglesias ended up on the Mets and had a phenomenal year.
MVP of the National League.
Why?
If you're looking at like the MVP as having the most weight on creating wins for your team, there's no other player that has had that much weight as Jose Iglesias. Because I think with him being able to come in and bring that Latin spark, knock the ice off of Lindor, finally got Vientos probably comfortable to be able to be an everyday third baseman. And now a bunch of guys that looked like they had no direction, running in all different directions in the beginning of the year. They made the playoffs, got to where they did, while the whole Mets organization had the OMG signs were everywhere from in the city to the stadium. The way I look at baseball, Jose Iglesias is unanimous National League MVP.
Come on. I mean, listen, Shohei went 50-50. You're saying that Jose Iglesias meant more to a team with his galvanizing and his number one pop song because he was able to turn around a franchise for a year?
Yes.
That's not going to work with the sabermetricians. I'm just telling you.
I'm not a sabermetrician. I'm a baseball player. I'm saying that him going to the Mets and being himself got the organization to move in one direction. Shohei Ohtani played a huge part in the Dodgers winning. I don't know if he's the sole purpose of the Dodgers moving in one direction. That doesn't mean that what Shohei did isn't record book worthy and he's not an amazing baseball player. If I'm starting a team, I pick Shohei over Jose. There's no doubt about it. I'm not stupid. But the way that I saw baseball last year through my eyeballs, Jose Iglesias is the National League MVP.
Nicky Castellanos.
Dude,
man.
I swear, with every year that passes, my fandom for Nick Castellanos grows. The legend of this guy just grows every year.
I know.
I mean, there were he had so many one-liners in there where I'm like, I'd put that on a t-shirt and I'd wear that around.
I'm not a sabermetrician.
I'm a baseball player. I mean,
oh man,
and,
I love
and
it.
To his credit, he acknowledges the whole like, look, if I had to start a team, I'm obviously going Shohei. I'm not an idiot. Like I said, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But look, I saw this clip earlier today, and I tweeted out. I said it's easy to laugh at these comments, but until the MLB or just baseball in general explicitly defines what the V in MVP actually stands for, we'll continue to go back and forth on what value actually means. And that's
1,000%.
That's just the truth. So we can sit here and like I've seen people say that this is like the worst baseball take they've ever seen, which like whatever, to each their own. It's probably on paper, maybe it's not the greatest take, but there is some validity to what he's saying. Like if we're talking about value, look at what Jose Iglesias did, maybe not necessarily on the field. Like he had some moments this year for sure, without a doubt. But just like what the value that he brought to the team, you cannot dispute that. And like with that said, am I going to sit here and say that Shohei is not the MVP? Absolutely not. But I 1,000% believe and stand behind and can get behind the sentiment in the comments that he shared on the show.
100%, dude. Like, I think anybody that is going to throw a ton of hate at this doesn't really truly understand like what the structure and development of a clubhouse means and the synergy of a roster. And I think that's what he's talking about most. And if you're talking about a team that needed that synergy more than any other team, and Jose Iglesias provided that, that is the most valuable thing for that organization. The argument and the definition of value can be interchangeable depending on the player and scenario and team. All of that is interchangeable in my mind, from year to year, from player to player, from league to league, from situation to situation. That definition can go back and forth a little bit. And when you're talking about the directionless Mets at that point, needing a veteran who is, in my mind, one of the smoothest glove men we've ever seen, and turning it on and turning the clock back and finding something in himself offensively that I don't know if we've seen at all in his career, while leading a young group, while taking, like he said, he broke the ice for Frankie Lindor, like to be able to just kind of let him sit back and relax and get back to being Mr. Smile. Like, that's what he did for that ball club. That's a huge, huge deal. You talk about value. I don't know how else to define it if we're removing just pure stats and pure numbers. And what I love about his comments is that that's a guy that's been in a clubhouse before, that's been in a winning clubhouse before, that understands how important those players are. And, you know, if we're going to get into the weeds of where we are at in this offseason and where we're at heading into 2025, this is when it's done. It's the names that maybe you're not fully in love with. Maybe it's not the superstardom that you're hoping to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on for your team. It's these types of guys that fill in the gaps, that live up to this role. So I understand what he's saying. Do I agree? Would I change my vote from Ohtani to him? Probably not. But I can absolutely sit here and be on the edge of my seat for that argument.
I love it. Cassie's always caught up in some sort of
sick, dude.
Some sort of controversy. Always, he's caught up in something. He grows on me.
He keeps it 100 every single time he speaks to.
Every time. I love it. I'm here for it.